Good morning, friends. This is Biniam on the Checkin In podcast. Welcome to today's episode. Today is October the 7th of October, 2021. And this is episode number 69. Tomorrow we see number 70. How do you interact with you? How do we interact with you? You can interact with me here on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Yeah, I answer as many questions as I can along the way while in the course of the Bin Checking podcast. Glad to see you, Zesty Surfer. Welcome. And where was I going? Oh, yeah. I want to talk a little bit about the podcast and why I do this podcast. Love doing this podcast. Hey, Shay, my friend, how are you? This is the podcast where Ollie, I see you, a lot of familiar friends coming in. Tropical, how are you? Nice to see you. This is the podcast where I do three key things that I celebrate often, and I'm devoting a lot of time to it. And I hope you don't know why I'm devoting a lot of time. I devote a lot of time to things that I find really important and worthwhile, things that are almost critical for me personally. And I like sharing my experiences. And so, as I share my experiences on things that I find of high importance, it's my way of saying, here is how I sort of order my life, how I invest myself in specific areas. And as I share those experiences, I hope that it benefits you as well. Mick says, how are you? This is my favorite podcast. I've told all my coworkers to give you a listen. Amazing. Thank you, Mick. That is really heartwarming. I appreciate the shout out there. So those three things are as follows. Number one, awareness of self. Goodness, I think after 69 episodes already, that's like a few weeks already. I should find out when I first started doing this podcast, but making this a daily commitment for myself has been really important in the way that I'm understanding how I shift and change over time in a good way, how I'm able to find pinpoint the areas of growth necessary, the wonderful ways that I have been growing. K-Man, my man, how are ya? And then secondly, the kindness that I show to myself is something that has been really, really helpful. And then finally, of course, you aim for happiness. Brandon, my man, how are you? Good to see you as well. So today's question we are answering, dear friends, is why? No, not why. Who? Let's get the right W there. Who do you fresh trim? I dig it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, K-Man. K-Man is another dear friend. He has been following my work for quite some time, and I have a special place in my estimation for those of you who have been coming alongside long term and following my work, encouraging me along the way, seeing me evolve as I go over time. So much love to you guys. Good to see you as well, Brandon. So the question is, who do you most enjoy spending time with, and why is that? So, who are some of the relationships and people you invest in a significant way? The way that you are like, hey, whenever I get to hang out with this person here, I love that opportunity. Brandon, I haven't gotten a call yet. I'm still waiting for a call. So yeah, if you could send them just a reminder that I'm just on the waiting here, that'd be amazing. Started in August 2020. Can't believe it's been 1 year since those lives came in. That is amazing. Almost like from the beginning, right? How's weather? Do I need a jacket? Okay, it is bright and sunny out here in Calgary today. However, it is still chilly. In my perspective, it's still above zero, but it's chilly. It's like probably like 4 or 5 degrees, I'm guessing. Let me just check my watch here. My watch will give me a quick update here. It's suggesting 3 degrees right now outside. High of 12 today. Oh, it's getting chilly here, but so the year progresses into winter. Josh, my dear friend, is on the live stream as well. Hello, Josh. Good to see you. Josh is a dear friend. He was actually my foreman tree planting in a significant season of my life when I was learning the definition of hard work, and he was at the forefront of that. So, Josh, good to see you. She's probably waiting too. Okay. Awesome. Got y'all got a short summer. It was super short here. Absolutely. 18 degrees in Toronto. I'm hearing from S2. Oh, let me just feel happy for you guys for a moment. But this episode, again, we focus on three key things. Actually, on this podcast in general, we focus on three key things. One is awareness of self. Second, um, the kindness components that we express to ourselves, which we usually struggle with, and then finally, it is the happiness component. I love experiencing happiness, but happiness is just one of those experiences we have along other emotions that I think we sometimes struggle getting accustomed to. And so, along those lines, I asked the question, what does it look like for us to acknowledge all those very essential emotions along the way, giving them the time that they need to be processed, even as we experience happiness in the midst of it all? Love the city, but it's so cold. As soon as September hits, it's basically winter. I know what you mean, Okishi. So today's question is more a self-reflection question about how to help us improve our relationships, especially in the area of appreciation today. Who do you most enjoy spending time with, and why is that? Can't wait to dive into that. One thing I think of as I think of this question is how, in essence, this question makes me reflect that we are social beings for the most part. Even the most how can I say, the most introverted amongst us, there is still some sense of desire that's expressed in saying, I would like to be in community in some way. Maybe not in overwhelming numbers, but at least to be able to have those connections socially. And even as we, I believe, are social beings, even as we desire to have those experiences with others, whereby we feel a sense of camaraderie, we feel a sense of comfort, we feel a sense of growing appreciation and love for those that we enjoy spending time with. There's also that component that social dynamics are not easy. They can actually get pretty complicated. I think for most of us, if not all of us, we do struggle along the way with what does it look like for us to be able to learn how to make it work. Why is that? Because we're all so different. Each and every one of us has different perspectives. We've got different ideas. We've got different expressions of how we want to communicate. And sometimes we find sparks are readily around the corner than what it looks like for us to experience that sense of, hey, this is a really fantastic connection. So learning how to get along with one another is actually not the easiest of tasks. It's actually a really challenging one. And so what does it look like for us, even as we consider those that we really appreciate, to find out why is it that we enjoy spending time with those individuals? What is it about those individuals as we spend time with them that makes it really worthwhile, as opposed to, I can't stand this person's presence. So that's part of the question here, I feel, as we're considering who are those that we enjoy spending most time with. It's acknowledgement that we are social beings, for starters. We love spending time with people. Um, some love spending time with more people. And others are like, actually, I like my small select group of people that I am investing in. So that's totally okay. That's totally legit. But what does it look like as we consider those connections? What makes it work? Why does it make it so amazing? And it's not to say that it's not, there's a right way and a wrong way of doing it. I think there is more so a preference that is expressed. For some people, my personality is not going to cut it. They're like, you're far too enthusiastic. You're far too chipper or cheerful, or all these other things that they may not appreciate in their connections. They may prefer someone who's a lot more chill, someone who doesn't talk as much, someone who is moderate in the way they express themselves. Others would be like, you're my jam. I love your energy. And I've heard that quite often as well. Um, what goes into those reflections of why you enjoy spending time with someone? That's the self awareness piece that we want to consider as we think about those people in our lives that we're like, this person means a lot to me. I love the time I spend with this person, and they really invest in me in a way that I feel the sense that, hell yes, this is where I want to continue investing more time. That's the self awareness piece to say, this is what really matters to me. And in the absence of knowing what makes sense to you this way, in the way you connect with someone, then you are almost you're almost like settling for what is coming your way. You're almost losing that reference point of having that active, this is where I want to give myself in an intentional way. And so that's why I love focusing on the self-awareness piece for myself and saying, what is it that I appreciate most? How can I look out for that so that when I see it, I can say, hell yes, I want to come alongside this individual and spend more time? Have you ever met someone who you, just upon the first few moments, you have that sense of, this person is someone really special and I want to spend more time with them. If I had the chance, I would love to commit a lot more time to just hanging out with them and learning from them and experiencing whatever it is that makes you feel good. Have you ever met someone like that? I've met a few people like that along the way, and it's a pretty cool thing when you have that experience because I feel that that's like my body's way of saying there's something here that is beneficial for me and I want to benefit from it. I want to come alongside it. I want to grow along with this experience. And so um, when I find those kind of connections, I look for ways to make excuses, if you will, to spend more time with that individual. That's something that I want to invest in. Um, maybe someone has felt that way about you. It would really be helpful to know what it is that you do, how you engage and share your personality with others, whereby they're saying, "This is something that I need more of in my life." So, the question, however, today is going external. Who do you enjoy spending time with, and why is it that you enjoy spending time with this individual? Um, for me, I am very careful also about the time that I spend with people. I'm very careful because time for me is super precious. It's very important. When I give time away, I understand that I'm not getting that time back. I'm, in essence, giving up that time and I'm seeing it go. It's a consideration of was that time well spent? And another awareness piece. And so, being really careful about those who I spend time with, I want to make sure that it makes sense for me. I see people in two categories. I see people who are influencers, if I can use that in the true sense, meaning these individuals have a very strong personality. They have a strong awareness of what it is that they want to experience. And they're like go getters in making sure that they experience that dynamic in their forward progression. And then the second category, I see those who are the influenced, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're just they're a lot more easygoing. They're a lot more flexible, if you will. They are happy to have others come alongside and sort of share their convictions, their perspectives, things that they value the most, right? And so, along those lines, that's one of the things that I consider when I'm thinking about how I engage with people. For me, I would consider myself in the first category, and I would say I'm the first category because I am very intentional about how I give myself away. I'm very intentional about the kind of experience I want out of my connections. So if I ever meet someone who's a stronger personality, I'll consider, is this the input that I want to have in my life? If it is, yes, I want to spend more time with that person. If it isn't, and they have an influence that I don't necessarily agree with or appreciate, I will exert my influence and see if they're game to still hang out. But I have that strength, I believe, to be able to extend my influence towards them. And so that's another component that goes into who I enjoy spending time with most, because as an influencer, I want to be able to leave my mark. I want to be able to leave my after like I want them to be aware that I am very specific on the kind of things that are coming my way in the experience category. So that's kind of how I see people in general too. But let me jump into my response. My response is as follows: Who do I enjoy spending time with? Who do I most enjoy spending time with? I enjoy spending time the most with um, my kids. I wasn't thinking. I was of who. I was just considering the weight of this answer. For me, I would say the ones in life I enjoy spending the most time with are my kids. Now they're young. They don't have a lot to offer. Well, actually, they have tons to offer. I mean, they don't have a lot to offer by way of experience because they're still young and they're still growing in their experience in life. But I enjoy spending time with them the most for a variety of reasons. Let me share some of those with you. One, there is this commitment, this bond, if you will, that is between the parent and their kid. This bond where the kid looks to the parent from the very point of their beginning, their existence, with this dependence and saying, "Okay, you got me right. You're going to feed me. You're going to clothe me. You're going to like shelter me. You're going to invest in me. Like there's this really, uh, it's a difficult thing to describe, but it's something pretty strong and powerful in the way that when my kids were born, as I looked at these new individuals, that I was responsible to make sure that they were going to grow well in life. There's this long-term commitment that was understood that said, yep, I'm on point now. I am not responsible only for myself anymore. I'm also responsible for these young, vulnerable individuals to be to make sure that they grow and become functioning, independent, contributing members of society, in essence. And that this isn't going to be out of obligation primarily, but also out of desire. It wasn't that I was dragged in there saying, "Ugh, I don't want to do this." And all this last decade as a dad now, I haven't been saying, if I have to, I'm going to do this. No, there's also been this sense of obligation mixed in with desire to do really well at this. Part of that is because I'm social and I love social engagements and connections. I study those really well. And here is me learning in my very own home with these individuals who get to see me first thing in the morning with my messy hair, although that doesn't say very much when my hair is this short. I just got a haircut this morning. What does it look like, however, for me to apply myself this way with a sense of obligation? Yes, I'm going to make sure that their needs are cared for, but also the desire that I want to express there, the desire in the midst of life, the desire where they're living with me. It's a fantastic thing to enjoy your friendships, your connections, especially when you don't live with them, because you guys have a space that you can have from each other to still be yourself. You can go and have a good time doing whatever, and then you can go back to your own place. And that's your own zone. But when someone comes in and lives with you, they're actually coming a little bit closer into your personal bubble. Then you are going to be seen for all of who you are. You're going to be seen for the way you are when you are having a rough day. You can't hide from that if they're living with you. They're going to see you when things aren't going your way in life. They're going to see you when you're frustrated. Like they're going to see every aspect of your life. And so with kids, with my kids, they get to see me in a way that not many people get to see me. They get to see me and know me a lot better that way. And along those lines, they know the real you. Do you know what I'm saying? They know the real you. You can't fake your way. You can't fake with your way as a parent with kids because they're going to see all those shades of you, and they're going to try and understand: does this make sense, or is this something amiss? Is there something amiss here? That is a very vulnerable thing and makes it really challenging. Some parents will say something to their kids along the lines of, "Hey, do as I say, not as I do." That's when they're struggling to fulfill the things that they're trying to teach and inculcate in their kids. I'm more on the parenting style that says, "Do as I do, not as I say." I want to be able to have my words and my actions line up. And what better way to have that line up and to be scrutinized than by having someone live with you? I'm living with my sister now, and she gets to see me in all those zones too. When you live with someone, you get to see everything about them, right? And so that's why I really appreciate my kids is because my kids keep me on point. My kids keep me consistent. My kids keep me honest and genuine. And why that is important for me is because I don't want to be that kind of person who has a double standard. I don't want to be that kind of person who is a two face. I've been there before. I've been in that zone once upon a time whereby I was I wasn't the person who I wanted to reflect. That wasn't the person I wanted to be. And so, yeah, submitting myself to doing life with my kids whom I enjoy spending the most time with keeps me honest. I invite them to ask me the hard questions. I invite them to hold me accountable. Why? Because I think it's a fair two-way street. It's really important that it's a two-way street for me. It's critical, I feel, that they're able to call BS on me when I step out of line. That's like so imperative for me personally. I value that. I honor their place to be able to say, "Dad, you're being annoying right now," for example, right? I'd be like, "Good. I appreciate that feedback. I'll take that and treating them as equals. I'll appropriate the way I move forward." Or, "Dad, I think you were unfair when you corrected me on this one here. I think you were not being just. I think you're, whatever complaint or concern that they have, I want to be able to let them have access in expressing those." That proves to me that I am human and that I'm still fumbling my way forward. And that's been one of the beautiful things that I wanted to communicate to my kids by way of a gift is to say, your dad does not have it together. Your dad is not perfect. Your dad is trying to figure life out just like you guys are. I may have a bit more experience, but I'm still in my humanity expressing my fumbles, expressing my mistakes, and I want to grow as a person, and I want them to have access to helping me to grow that way. That's really important to me. And so you can see a variety of reasons why I love being in my kids' lives. It is really important to me that I'm in my kids' lives. Because I want to share this experience called life. I don't want to present them a life that is perfect. I want them to experience their own hardships and to be able to learn to be resilient. I want to have them experience their happinesses and their successes and celebrate those, and also to be able to temper those difficult, challenging experiences in their life so that they learn what it is like to be able to be independent in the midst of a world that is it's not easy to navigate. That is yeah, it's a tough world. And so I want to give them that reality of what is and the coping skills to be able to handle that. So that's really important for me. I value that progression going forward. So my kids are one of my supreme delights in life that I enjoy and prioritize. You guys know on my platform who have followed me for a long time how I place my kids in a higher priority than even my social media presence. I will take time away from social media, even if it's at my expense, where I may lose followers, if I may lose traction, if I may lose momentum. I'm happy to say goodbye to that if I feel time is better spent with my kids. Maybe I've spent time with them, but maybe my son calls me and says, "Dad, I really could use some time. I could use some attention." I'd be like, "You got it. That's my priority." And I'll be able to say to you guys, I'm so sorry. This podcast is going to be canceled because I'm needed elsewhere indefinitely until I attend to that, because that's a higher priority for me. I count those really important. I just mentioned that I'm living with my baby sister. My baby sister, she is fantastic. She is 22 years my junior, if you can believe it. She's just turned 19. I encouraged her to move out here with me. And so I knew I was giving up my privacy when I invite someone into my living space, but I was a hell yes to that. I wanted her to come and spend time with me here because I enjoy spending time. I knew as she spends time with me, she's going to see life in a very real way. This is how Biniam really is. But this is what it means when we spend time with people we love is we want to share ourselves with them. We want to share all aspects of ourselves with them, don't we? We want to say, here is how I think, here's how I live, here's how I believe, here's how I divide my time. And so that becomes that mutual symbiotic expression that says, well, hell yes, we want to spend time with each other, even if it means we're going to go through challenges together as well. That is another person who I enjoy spending time with the most because I love seeing how she's growing. I've got three younger siblings that are significantly younger than I am. I've enjoyed watching them grow. I've enjoyed watching them from the sidelines, in essence, just because it's been such a fantastic thing to see them become their own persons to who express their own values and perspectives. So it's been really cool. Yeah, we get to spend time here. Monday, Tuesday nights are our nights when we spend time as a family. So me, her, my other sister, and her boyfriend come over, and we've kind of prioritized that for ourselves as something that is really important. So we give ourselves to that. Hello, Tavish, how are you? And so that's important for us in our continued experience in life. Is this is our way of saying, hey, you really are important to me. You're not only a family member, I've told this to my sisters. You're not just a family member. To me, even before being a family member, you're also a dear friend. And so I love when that combination comes, when it's not only family, but also friendship as well, too. Speaking of friends, I have a small, close knit group of friends that I spend time with. We are aligned in so many ways, and also we're different and diverse in so many ways. But I also carve time out of my week every week to spend time with them. Our kids play together. We spend time together. We've been doing this for the last couple of years. It's been fantastic. Love it. Love it. And part of that is a way of us expressing, saying we're going to extend ourselves in uncomfortable ways and getting to know. Because here's the thing, when you spend time with someone, when you spend extended time with someone, they're going to get to know more about you. They're going to see not only your good points that you'd like them to see, but they're also going to see the challenging parts about you. The way that you maybe get frustrated or lose your temper, or like all these expressions, right? And so there's that expression as well. So, yes, there is that side that I'm happy to invest in, and that is these wonderful close friendships. I love what we're doing. We're creating community. We're creating a safe place for us to be ourselves. It is a fantastic thing. And so that means a lot to me. My dear friends, I would love to hear from you though. No, sorry, not what, but who are some people that you enjoy spending time with the most? Why is it that these individuals are the ones you enjoy spending time with the most? What is it about these individuals that you're like, I love being able to invest myself here? Why do you enjoy time with these individuals? What do they do for you, or what do you do for them that makes it a really happy combination that makes you say, this is really important for me? I'd love to hear that along the way. This is one of those questions I appreciate just because it gets me in that frame, in that zone of saying, how can we be careful in the way that we spend time with those in our lives? There are some people that you are probably wasting your time with. You hear what I'm saying? Wasting your time with because they're taking from you, but they're not really investing much in you. They're like leeches, and just they come in and do a lot more harm than good. It takes awareness to be able to see those kind of influences in our lives. When you consider those that you are investing in, that you benefit from, what is it that they do that makes it a really happy experience? It's a really important question, because as you consider it, you become aware of what is it that you need personally in those influences coming in your life. What are the ones you're going to say goodbye to because they're not very helpful, they're not beneficial necessarily? That's a really important part. So, as you consider that, also take a moment to express gratitude, because those people you get to spend time with, that you super enjoy their company, that's an amazing gift in life, isn't it? It's a beautiful thing. There are so many things in this life. Hello, grapefruits. There are those people in our lives that we don't realize were meaningful, impactful until they're gone. So, what does it look like for us to savor those opportunities with these people that we say, this is my hell yes place. This is my, these are the individuals that I value. And then how can you express that to them and saying, hey, I appreciate you for who you are and what you do for me, how you encourage me, how you motivate me to be something better. That's a really important consideration. Who are they? And how can you maybe express that thankfulness for them today? I love doing this often, unexpectedly. I just send someone a note saying, just so you know, I so appreciate who you are in my life. I appreciate the value you bring to me, the way I feel like a better person because I'm around you. Go ahead and extend that to them. I'm going to do that even with my kids today. After this podcast, I think I'm just going to go and send a message saying, I just appreciate the person I am because you guys are in my life. Friends, I will see you again for tomorrow's episode number 70. I hope you have a fantastic, maybe Friday or Thursday. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.